Welcome all to another edition of the C64 Roundup, your concise guide to the latest news and releases for your Commodore 64. Let's check out some of the latest news that has piqued my interest over the past month. The preliminary development for a pig quest has been completed, with only some small touches being added, while the team is busy fully testing the game to get it ready for completion. I would suggest that the game is still many months away from release, but in the meantime, check out this exclusive game trailer that coder Antonio Savona has put together for all you RGN viewers. Just to remind you of the basic plot to the game, you play our hero, Frank Fervor. While camping one day, he enters a cave and discovers a subterranean world and is drawn into an adventure to find 4 stolen statues in order to bring peace and harmony again to the pig people. The primary objective of each level is to find 6 fragments of a statue and return them to the village. A Pig Quest is looking to be a future classic title for the C64 with its high production values, engaging storytelling and great responsive controls. Trevor Story from Icon 64 has released a video showing off the current state of the upcoming game Terrestrial. The backstory to Terrestrial sees you returning to your homeworld from the outer reaches of the solar system, when you suddenly receive a transmission informing you that your homeworld has been invaded by an alien force. The planet's only hope is a hidden base on one of the nearby moons that happens to be home to an elite group of soldiers. You're ordered to head to the hidden base and make plans to win back your homeworld. Terrestrial will feature about 10 different types of minigames that includes target shooting of enemy fighters, bombing enemy cruisers, scrolling sections where you need to shoot or avoid enemies and buildings, a Cabal style section where you must clear the landing zone of buildings, and a few other gameplay styles. These will be spread out across 25 different missions. Terrestrial is expected to receive a release late in 2022. Petsky Scientists has released a preview of Sir Arthur, a Petsky graphic adaptation of Ghosts and Goblins. Featuring the first level of the original game, the Sir Arthur preview is very playable and does give a good sense of playing a version of Ghosts and Goblins. It is not as difficult as the original, and currently Sir Arthur is not able to kneel down, but other than that there is very little to fault with this Petsky interpretation. Hope the development team will persist with the project and include all remaining levels. The preview is available for download from the CSDB website. Reset 64 magazine has once again held its 4KB Craptastic competition, where C64 coders are encouraged to produce the best game possible within the confines of a 4KB compressed file size limit. There were 26 submissions this year. Let's take a quick look through them all. 20 is a sliding tile puzzle game in a similar vein to 2048. Slide the numbered tiles around so that the tiles of the same value combine to increment to the next number up. When the timer reaches 0, another row of tiles is added to the grid. Try to get to 20 before no more tiles can be added. Having recently joined the team at Reset 64 magazine, I've become aware of the special relationship between fellow staff writers Cameron Davis and Ann Stiller. Cam has taken their relationship to the next level by coding Ann Stiller Top Hat Challenge, a quirky little game in honour of his special friend. Guide Ant's head around the screen to collect the top hat and return it to the target spot. Collecting a Kate gives Ant a bigger head, which makes the game a little bit more challenging. Be a Bear sees you control a bear who has to collect as many honeycombs as you can while dodging worker bees and porcupines. Catch falling apples to restore your energy and keep playing until your energy reaches 0. A sequel to the previous 4K Craptastic submission, Bring Back More Bones, is a 3D exploration shooter game with the objective of locating all of the scattered bones of your uncle. There are some nasty creatures to be found in the landscape, so you need to manage your health carefully. Collected bones can be dropped into the cauldron, which replenishes your health a little. Once all the bones have been collected and dropped into the cauldron, you will get to hear from your uncle's ghost. Brown Finger is a one-button game where your objective is to rescue the flying toilet paper from the fire pit in the centre of the screen. Press the fire button to make your character jump to either pick up the toilet paper or jump over the toilets coming your way. If you get hit by a toilet, you will then respawn on the other side of the fire pit. Game is over when you fail to save a toilet paper roll. The objective to Broom Broom is to just stay driving as long as possible and stop your fuel from running out while increasing your score. Your car moves ahead in a circle motion. Pressing the joystick button makes the car turn and go in the opposite circle direction. You can replenish your fuel by collecting the gas canisters and make sure you avoid any hazards. In Catch 22, you navigate a maze and collect all of the 22s before your moves run out. To complete your objective, you need to plan your path ahead, as you cannot walk in areas you've already been. Circles is an endless score attack game where you shoot other circles in the play area. Collect pickups to change your circle's shooting capabilities and keep on playing until you lose all your energy. Delve is a procedurally generated roguelike dungeon crawler. Go around collecting potions and stabbing goblins. To get to the next level, you have to kill at least half of the goblins on the current level before picking up one of the potion bottles that will act as a teleporter. There are 9 levels in total. Gun Shooty Game is a turn-based artillery game. Set the angle of your cannon and the power of your shot and then let it fly. Hard Foam is a card battle game featuring 32 cards and a wide range of unique effects. Play your cards on the table and use them to attack your opponent. Not an easy game to pick up, and you'll need to have an interest in this style of game. Headhunter is a single-screen platform game where you need to go around collecting all of the jewels to complete a level. Avoid enemies and spikes, otherwise your health counter goes down. Collecting hearts will increase your health. Infinity Rail sees you play as a railer, supplying goods to the people down the infinite railway. You need to decide what are the best places to buy goods and where to sell your services. Make sure to keep all your rail parts in good condition and look to expand your train to score more points. Jolly Jumper is a one-button game where you use the fire button to enter the playfield and to jump. Avoid the swinging rope and try to complete the set. When the set is finished, you'll be sent out of the playfield and you have to enter it all over again to start the next set. If you get hit by the rope, it'll be game over. Jump course requires you to jump over blocks to get from one side of the screen to the other. Hitting a block reduces your energy and your character moves a little faster with every level you advance. Little Nippers is a high score chaser where you launch red crabs at the feet of children running across the beach. For each level you have a set quota of children to hit, and don't be too careless with launching the crabs as you only have a limited supply. Marble Boy requires you to go around the screen collecting 45 pennants and banners within a set time limit. Your marble is able to jump over holes, and there's a little bit of inertia being applied when you stop pushing in the joystick direction. Overall, the movement is quite smooth. The screen levels wrap around, allowing you to take shortcuts to reach your target. In Mike Quarter, you're a kitchen porter who has to collect dishes before they fall down. Dishes contain a number, and to obtain points you need to deliver them to the table with a corresponding number. To help you with your objective, you can press the joystick button to temporarily stop conveyor belts. Mimizuku Saga requires you to navigate through an underworld in order to free 25 ancestors. Each step you take reduces your life force counter. Freeing ancestors will also reduce your life force unless you have a supply of sake to sip on beforehand. Making things a little more trickier is that walking into the Torii gates will result in you being taken to a different screen. Moroboto is a variation to your missile command style of game. Instead of controlling crosshairs, you control a robotic guinea pig and have to bounce around the level trying to collide with as many asteroids as possible to minimise the amount of damage that those asteroids do to the world. Nurikabe is a Japanese-based logic game where you need to use the number clues to try and determine which squares of the grid are to remain white and which need to be filled in with a solid colour. There are a number of rules you need to consider when solving a puzzle, such as that separate white areas cannot touch each other vertically or horizontally, and there cannot be any 2x2 section of the grid that is filled. The game allows you to check problem areas within your grid, and there are 20 puzzles to solve. The objective of Old Mine Hoist is to lower a small hoist cage as deep as possible into an old abandoned mine. The hoist cage swings from side to side, and there are wooden obstacles on both sides which must be avoided to prevent damage. The hoist moves downwards at a constant speed, but pushing the joystick up halves that speed, while pushing it down will double its speed movement. Poke will no doubt remind you of the game Pang. Move your knight left and right while shooting a crossbow bolt to pop the balls. As the balls pop, they will initially split into two and continue to do so until they reach their smallest size. Pickups will appear from time to time. These will either help you or hinder you. Skiddy is a 1 or 2 player overhead racer. Beat the competition in a 5, 10 or 20 lap race of the track in cars that have ball tyres. In Sky High, you have to survive as long as possible by jumping between lifts which get heated when you stand on them. If the lift gets heated for 5 seconds, it explodes and disappears. When all lifts are gone, the game is over. You also need to watch out for the ozone layer. Bouncing off it too many times will also result in the game being over. Snake Break sees you take on the challenge of playing 2 classic video games simultaneously. Break the blocks with your ball using your bat, or while you navigate your snake around to eat the dots. Missing a ball or crashing a snake into the grey border or into itself will cost you a life. Eating a dot changes the border colour to blue, which a snake can pass through. So there you have it. What do you think? Which of the 26 submissions would you like to see extended out further to a fully blown game? Would love to hear your views in the comment section. A complete pack of all games shown here will be made available across this weekend from the Reset64 itch.io page. Okay, let's check out what other new games have been released of late. Likia: The Lost Island has finally been released as a free digital download. We previewed the game back in March and can confirm that the final version is pretty close to what was shown back then, with the main differences in the final version being that it contains 25 SID soundtracks, and that the tree foliage around the initial game environment has shifted from an autumnal look to a greener summer look. Likia is a casual-paced open-world adventure game depicted with a top-down perspective. Our teenage protagonist Nora sees her world turned upside down on her 16th birthday when she accidentally triggers a magical event, while out on an errand for her mother, that results in people in her village disappearing. You are initially given minimal direction as to your objective, but with a little guidance from the non-playable characters in the game, the story narrative gradually unfolds. As the game progresses, Nora begins to realise that she is no ordinary girl and that she is somehow connected to all the extraordinary events that are taking place, and that it's up to her to restore things back in order. Nora's adventures take her on a journey through a number of lands and environments. Her interactions with the local inhabitants will trigger quests, which will typically entail searching for people or objects, solving puzzles, and helping out with various errands, all while making new friends. I still find Likia a compelling game to play with its Nintendo-esque style graphics and gradual pacing, but if you have trouble reading English, then the game may be a bit difficult for you to progress through. Likia will receive a physical release later on in the year through Protovision and Cytronic Software. Zoomies is a side-scrolling shooter inspired by the old Mastertronic game Sub Hunt. You take control of a submarine with what appears to be the general objective of blasting everything in sight while avoiding enemy sea creatures and bombs dropped by UFOs. There is nothing too much here that's going to really get you excited. The gameplay does get dull quite quickly, but it is a free download, so you have nothing to lose by trying it out. Game link is in the video description. Dicing with Death is a simple little battle dice RPG. The game was intended to be submitted to the 4K Craptastic competition, but missed the deadline. So here it is as a release in its own right. If there is an item on the screen, then you'll pick it up by pressing the joystick button. If there is a monster on screen, then pressing the button will have you attack it, in which 3 dice are rolled for you and the monster, with the highest number dealing the damage to the other. No doubt you will be impressed with what has been produced here within 4 kilobytes. The isometric graphic display does look really nice. There is a compelling game here should the coder be motivated to push the project way beyond 4 kilobytes. Capcom requires you to control a character around to collect all the stars on screen while avoiding enemy monsters. Your character leaves a line trail behind him as he moves around, and drawing a complete shape around one or more stars results in them being collected. Drawing shapes around multiple stars in one go will result in more points being awarded. The line trail can be used to block off monsters, adding further strategy to the gameplay. Capcom may have a simple premise, but it is very well executed and is definitely one for you to try out for free. The game download link is in the video description. Poing Ultra is another adaptation of the classic Pong with one modification. In the middle of the screen is an alien that pushes out ability modifiers to either player. Some modifiers are useful, while others can cause you harm, so you need to be selective on which one you collect. Poing Ultra can be played by either 1 or 2 players and provides a good Pong gaming experience if this is what you're after. Poing Ultra is available as a free download from itch.io. Inferior Software International has released an extended version of Gold Quest VI, a straightforward dungeon-crawling RPG written in BASIC. You are a brave dwarf stuck in an enchanted mine complex on a mission to free his leader from captivity. Your strength attribute is measured by your blood alcohol content, and with every step you take, both your health and boozy stats go down by 1 value. You'll come across various characters and you'll be given a couple of choices as to what action you want to take that will impact your key attributes, and you'll also come across mystery items that are only revealed once you step on them. Finally exit to the level, and then you're taken to a tavern where you have the option to buy some upgrades, do a bit of gambling, or sit down and regain your strength with a meal. The extended version of Gold Quest 6 includes 2 new non-playable characters, an altered difficulty balance, and 12 unlockable achievements. Gold Quest 6 is available as a free digital download. And that is a wrap on another C64 roundup. Thank you for taking the time to watch through it, and I hope you found something of interest in this episode. An extra special thanks to viewers who show their appreciation with a financial contribution to RGN via Patreon or Ko-fi. All proceeds go back into the running of the channel and website. Until next time, bye for now.